Happy Monday and welcome to Torah Today with me, with Chavi Rappaport. And as we always say, the Torah is so relevant today, just as it was years ago, so many years ago at Sinai. This week's Torah portion, Eila Toldot Yitzchak ben Avraham, Avraham holid et Yitzchak. These are the offspring of Yitzchak, the son of Avraham. Avraham gave birth to Yitzchak. What immediately jumps out at us is this is redundant. Of course, if Yitzchak is the son of Avram, Avram gave birth to Yitzchak. Why is it necessary to repeat that? And there are a few reasons. One obvious reason is that the scoffers said, Yitzchak, he was born to Sarah and Avimelech. She didn't conceive with Avram for so many years, and suddenly after she was with Avimelech, now she has a son. So the two, Avram and Yitzchak, looked exactly alike. Also, each one was proud to say, Yitzchak was proud to say, Avram is my father, and Avram was proud to be the father of Yitzchak. And there's another reason. Though we're going to discuss that they had very different outlooks and ways of communicating their philosophy and behavior, nevertheless, Avraham gives birth. His method of reaching and teaching people still gives birth and is incorporated somehow. Yitzchak is an extension of Avraham. We find that with regard to Avraham, there are 3 parshiot, Lech Lecha, Vayera, Chayesara, attributed to him, his life and all his tests and journeys and everything that transpired. Yaakov, after Yitzchak, 6 parshiot discuss all the trials and tribulations and his life and his ultimate rise as viceroy in Egypt, etc., etc. But Yitzchak, only 1 parsha, this one, Toldot, is relegated to his life. And why? Well, Yitzchak was a little bit of a quiet loner, more passive kind of guy, whereas Avram was out there. His kindness was so overbearing, and he was just looking for opportunities to share, to give, to shower people with his kindness, with his ideology, regardless if the recipient was ready or worthy. But Yitzchak was very different. And Yitzchak was called Ola Tamima, a perfect sacrifice, because he was taken as a sacrifice by Avram when Hashem commanded him to do so. Of course, ultimately his life was spared, but nevertheless, he was considered a perfect sacrifice, and therefore he was not allowed to leave the Holy Land. And Hashem told him, don't leave. Go down to Gerar. Do not leave Eretz Yisrael. And he did not marry other Pilakshim, concubines, to have more children. He stayed with his wife, Rivka, only. In addition to that, we find Yitzchak was confined in his place, and he was very involved with digging wells. Now, what is the significance of digging wells? This is so indicative of his whole ideology and how he worked. When you look inside a well, it's a wellspring of water. There's dirt underneath, but underneath that grime, if you just dig, there is so much life, fresh spring water. And that was his method. It wasn't about coming from above and telling people and showering people with goodness and knowledge and godliness, but it was about helping people to recognize that reservoir of divinity, that fresh water is within you. You have what it takes. You have so much richness inside of you. Just search, dig, uncover. It's there. And that's why Toldot, offspring, is attributed only to Yitzchak. Because with Abraham, the people were not able to sustain his message and all his kindnesses, because it was an outside thing hovering over them. Whereas with Yitzchak, it was coming from within. It was the person's own potential and own involvement, even though that kind of limited it somewhat. But nevertheless, this is the method. This is the way we pass on knowledge to posterity. We involve them. We make them aware that you are a reservoir of greatness. It's much like that man who came to see the Lubavitcher Rebbe, and he said, I came to you to find God. And the Rebbe said, why did you come here? Go home. God is right there with you, within your own heart. And this is our call to action. Firstly, within ourselves, to realize that we need to keep digging and digging and digging, and we will continue to grow and to unearth more and more beauty, holiness, fresh, rich, nourishing water to quench our thirst. And with regard to someone else, point out, notice, and encourage people to realize you are a reservoir of goodness, of kindness, of knowledge, of divinity. Just look within yourself and just keep moving steadily upward and unearthing layer by layer by layer. Have an incredible day. Pass on the inspiration, and if you haven't yet, please subscribe.